Hello everyone. In this particular video, I'll be discussing multi-dimensional array, and I'd love to focus on two-dimensional array in C programming language. Okay, and I am almost done with my C programming tutorials, and eventually I can fast track the Python programming tutorials also. So I am trying to create a YouTube channel which is educational in a way, and at the same time I did post some of my personal activities in life. Okay, so I am going to share my online notepad, right? And here I have an example, a program that is actually using two-dimensional array. Okay, and it is my mere intention not to use function programming approach. Okay, I just did use the simple programming one because my purpose here is to discuss the idea of two-dimensional array, the behavior, right, how it works when we are to make use of this two-dimensional array in C program. Okay, so here I declared multi-array as my two-dimensional array variable, and I did give, right, a static value 3 and 5, right? So I am going to explain how multi-array as my array variable works, okay, when I'm going to use this one in my for loop statement. Okay, and I did also declare x and y as my counter variables. Okay, and I'll be using this x and y for my for loop statements. Okay, so please follow my screen. And I did have here two for loop statement. Okay, this is actually nested loop statement. This is my mother loop, and this is my inner loop. Alright, so this loop, okay, this loop body will be performed 5 times, right, for as long as this condition is true. And once this condition is false, it will exit and not perform this one and go back to the mother loop. And then the mother loop will also exit from this loop if this condition is true, which means this loop body will be performed 3 times, right? 3 times. And this loop body will be performed 5 times. Okay? And I am using multi-array as my multi-dimensional array variable. Okay? So we'll try to simulate it manually. Okay? Actually, this first sets of for loop statement will ask for a value, and then the second set of for loop statement, same logic, instead of asking this line of instructions, will display the content or the value being entered here. Okay, so here if you can follow my screen, I tend to initialize my x into 0, right? And then I ask if my x is less than 3, right? And so in this particular condition, this time our x is 0, so 0 is less than 3, meaning the condition is true. And if the condition is true, like in my previous video, I did discuss the behavior of for loop statement. If the condition is true, loop statement will perform the loop body, and this is the loop body of this mother loop. Okay, and the loop body says another what? Another loop statement. So this is a nested loop, and on my nested loop I did initialize x by 0 also, same with y to 0, same with x, and then I did ask if the value of y is less than 5, right? Where did I get 3 and 5? I just get this in here. Okay, I am going to explain you later why. Now, since our x is 0, right, So the condition is true. And since the condition is true, what's next? This loop will be performed. How many times? 5 times. Because this condition will only become false if y is how much? 5. And of course, no, 5 is not lesser than 5. Okay. So since the condition is true, perform. So it will display what? It will display enter value for multi-array. Okay, and then I did use curly brackets, and with what? With the %d, which means whatever is the value of x, that will be placed in here. So our x is how much? Our x is 0. All right, and our y is also 0. Okay, so it displays like this, and then followed by scanf. Scanf %d ampersand, so it will ask for a value. So say for example we entered 1. Okay, when we press enter k, 1 will be stored to what? It will be stored in here, multi-array xy. So multi-array, our multi-array variable now contain what? The value of our x is 0 and our y is 0. So this particular part of our multi-array variable contains how much? 1, because we entered 1 in here, right? And it goes back. When it goes back, how much? Our y becomes y plus plus. So our y becomes 1. Okay, so please follow my screen. So 1 because of y plus plus. And then same thing is our y less than 5. Our y is how much? Our y is 1, meaning the condition is true. And since the condition is true, perform this loop body again. So it will display same. It will display this one, right? And while displaying this one, our x is still 0, but our y is how much? Our y is 1. It's in here. Okay, so seems technical, but just listen. Now here, if for example we still entered 1, then that 1 will be stored to multi-array multi-array 01. These are actually index values. Okay, array variables are handling index values. Okay, so it's as good as it's a blocks, and it is composed of a lot of subdivision, right? So that's array variable. Okay, so here our multi-array, this is not rat but array. Our multi-array 00 contains 1, and our multi-array 01 contains 1. Okay, and it goes back again. How many times? 5 times. Right. So we'll try to complete the cycle. Y now becomes 2. Okay, and still for loop will ask if our y, which is 2, less than 5. Still the condition is true, and since the condition is true, perform again the loop. And in this particular juncture, our multi-array, our y is now 2, right? And if for example we still entered 1, okay, so our multi-array array 1 variable now 02 contains 1, and it goes back again. When it goes back, y becomes 3, and still our for loop will ask if our y, which is 3, lesser than 5. So still the condition is true. Now since the condition is true, display this one, but by this time it's not anymore 2 but 3. So every time it loops, our value of y increases to 1. And if assuming we entered 1 also, I will try to erase this. This is not anymore 0 but 3. Our multi-array variable 03 contains 1 also, and it goes back. Okay, and it goes back. So when it goes back, y now is 4, and again our for loop will ask if our y is lesser than 5. At this time the condition is still true. Now since the condition is true, perform this loop, right? So it will display same. So it display instead of 03, it is now 04. And assuming we entered 1, right? By the way, we'll try to change this to y. This is now 4. And if we enter 1, when we press enter k, our variable multi-array 04 contains 1. Okay, and it goes back. When it goes back, our y now is how much? Our y now is 5. And same thing, it will ask, is y lesser than 5? This time the condition is false because our y at this is 5 and 5 is not anymore less than 5. Now since the condition is false, it will not anymore execute this loop. Proceed to the next. The next is curly bracket, and this curly bracket demands us to go back to here. And when it goes back in here, what's next? Our x will increase by 1. At first our x is 0, and since it goes back for the second time, our x increases to 1, and then same logic, it will ask for condition, is our x, which is 1, lesser than 3. Now the condition is true. Now since the condition is true, get inside again the inner loop or the nested loop, and when it goes back, get inside, our y is being reset to 0, right? And it will ask the same, so it will cycle. So this particular process will cycle. Okay, it will goes back and back. How many times? 5 times, right? So I think I need to I will try to complete the cycle, right? Is y, which is 0, lesser than 5? That's true. Since the condition is true, perform this one, enter value, then ask for a value. So again and again, we'll try to copy this one, right? Control C, and then it will ask for a value again, and this time instead of 0, 4, it will become 1, and this one is 0. Why? Because this one refers to our x, and this 0 here refers to the value of our y. And if for example we entered 2, when we press enter k, multi-array 1, right, index 0 contains 2. Are you following? So that's it. And it will loop, right, because of this curly bracket. When it loops, the value of y will increase by 1 because of y++. So y now is equal to 1, and then behavior of for loop, it will ask as to how much is your y as against the condition. Is your y less than 5? Our y is 1, which is actually lesser than 5, so the condition is true. Now since the condition is true, do the same. So it will ask again and again and again and again. Okay, so it will loop. This time it's not anymore 1 0 but 1 1, because our x is 1 and our y this time is 1. And if we enter 2, this 2 will be stored to multi-array variable 1, index 1 and index 1. We're actually using a multi-dimensional array, and so on and so forth. And here in this particular by the way, this cycle here, okay, this one will be performed how many times? 3 times. Alright, 3 times. And asking for the value right? This one will be performed how many times? Not 5 times but 15 times. Why? Because the mother loop will loop 3 times and the inner loop will loop 5 times. So 5 times 3 is 15. So we'll be asking 15 values out from this nested loop statements. And the next one is the display part. It will display whatever values that we are trying to enter in here. Okay, so the same logic, we are actually using nested loop, but then instead of asking, we are actually displaying the value of, or the content of, multi-array, and whatever is the value of x and whatever is the value of y, same thing. Okay, so for my viewers and subscribers, please, I would like to challenge you, because if I'm going to discuss this one line by line, it will take a lot of time, okay, and it will eat your data. So I'd love to challenge you. Be a scientist, right? Copy and paste this program, run and make use of your own compiler and check. Okay, check the behavior of the statements. So basta in this particular group of statements, the second nested loops, this will display the content of here. Okay, so we will try to run this program. Okay, actually I have the same program in here on my compiler, this one. Okay, so this is actually the one that we did discuss in my online notepad. Okay, so we'll try to execute this program. Okay, look at this. We have this one, all right, to ask for a value, and the second for loop will display all the values that we are we entered a while ago. Okay, so we'll try to run this program. Right, so assuming we'll use the same value, we have 1, right? Look at the multi-array thing here. We have 0 0, we have 0 1, right? This is actually the value of x, and this one is the value of y. Okay, so if for example alright, when you press enter K, it will still ask again. When you press enter K, it will ask for the last value, right? This is on the next pressing of enter K, it will exit from here because our value, our y is already 5, and 5 is not anymore less than 5. So the condition becomes false. So that is why it will exit. And when it exits, what happens? We tend to increase the value of x, right? Here, instead of x equal to 0, it becomes x to 1 because of x plus plus. And when we have this one, the value of y will reset and ask again here. How many times? 5 times. So it will cycle. So assuming we entered 2, right? So our program will ask for 5 values and it will exit. And when it exits, look at this here. Instead of 1, we have 2. And the value of y resets to 0. Right? So we have how many 0 0 in here? 5. We have 5 1s and we will have 5 2s. So say for example we will enter 3. Alright, when you press enter K, this 3 will be stored to this particular variable, and it will ask for 5 values in here. Okay, it will exit when our y is 5. Okay. So here our y is 4, and when we press enter K, it will exit. And look at that. Alright, this display is actually the result of the second for loop statement. Okay, and the reason why the sets of 2 values is not being printed right after 1 because of this condition. Are you following? If our y reaches to 4, what's next? Backslash in, meaning move the cursor to the next line. And that's why we have here the sets of 2 on the next line, and the sets of 3 is on the next line. Okay, so these are actually this is a good thing with a multi-dimensional array. It makes our program shorter and a lot easier to look at it. Okay, so I hope I was able to explain and give you some tips on the behavior of multi-dimensional array, and for you to get it well, I would like to suggest you try to run this program, right? Do something in here, make use of your online compiler, just to give you the gut feel of the behavior of multi-dimensional array. On my next video, I'll be sharing to you another program, and hopefully I can have a program using multi-dimensional array and trying to integrate function programming concept. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. God bless you. Please do not forget to click subscribe and do some sharing of this video so as to increase my subscribers, and will eventually give me energy to create another tutorial video. Thank you so much. God bless us. God is good.